Today we are going to classify quadrilaterals. A quadrilateral is a polygon with 4 sides and 4 angles. So as you can see here, we have a rhombus. This rhombus right here has 4 sides and 4 angles. We have a square here which also has 4 sides and 4 angles. We have a trapezoid with 4 sides and 4 angles. And we have a parallelogram with 4 sides and 4 angles. And then we have just random shapes or random quadrilaterals here. Don't necessarily have a specific name to them, but because they have 4 sides and 4 angles, they are still classified as quadrilaterals. Some of our common quadrilaterals are the trapezoid, which has 1 pair of parallel sides. So as you see here, we have 3 different types of trapezoids here. And I'm going to show you the parallel sides. If you notice, this first one here has a parallel side. Oh, my pen didn't work right there. And right there would be parallel to each other. On this next one here, let's show you with the arrow. We have this line right here, this side right here is parallel with this side right here. Remember, parallel means that the lines never touch. They're enemy lines. So right here, this one has it there and also right there. So they have at least 1 pair meaning 2. So there's 1 pair of parallel lines. A parallelogram is our next one here. A parallelogram has 2 pairs of parallel sides and 2 pairs of sides of equal length. So if you notice right here, we have 1 and 2. These 2 are the same, are parallel. And then we also have these 2 right here that are parallel, and they're the same length. Now this is a parallelogram. However, a rectangle is also a parallelogram because a rectangle fits this definition. 2 pairs of parallel sides, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 2 sides of equal length. Now sometimes when they pair sides up here, you'll see on some of the assignments and stuff, they'll put little marks on there showing you they're the same. So they'll have a mark there and a mark there showing you those 2 are the same, and 2 marks there and 2 marks there showing you those 2 are the same, just to kind of match them up the same size to the same length. Notice we also have a square. Square also fits the parallelogram definition because it has 2 pairs of parallel sides. In this case, they're all the same length, and 2 pairs of sides of equal length, and they all just happen to be all the same length. Our next one here is a rhombus. A rhombus, it has 2 pairs of parallel sides and 4 sides of equal length. So a rhombus has all 4 sides are equal in length, and they have 2 pairs of parallel sides. So in this case, for a rhombus, we could say this parallelogram here is a rhombus because these sides are all equal in length. Only a parallelogram that has sides that are all 4 sides are equal in length will count as a rhombus also. This one here we know as a rhombus because all 4 sides are equal in length. Now, a square would also meet the definition of a rhombus because all 4 sides are equal in length and it has 2 pairs of parallel lines. Our next common one is a rectangle. A rectangle has 2 pairs of parallel sides, 2 pairs of sides of equal length, and 4 right angles. So with a rectangle, we have these rectangles here. We have two sets of parallel sides. We have 2 pairs that are equal in length, and we have 4 right angles. So 1, 2, 3, 4 right angles. So all rectangles are going to be the same. We've all seen rectangles before. However, a square fits this definition also. So a square can be classified as a rectangle also. Notice we have two pairs of parallel sides, two pairs that are the same length, and four right angles. So a square still counts as a rectangle. And then our last one here is a square. A square has two pairs of parallel sides, four pairs of sides of equal length, and four right angles. Notice I have four 90-degree angles here. That means I have a square. I have, well, the corners come to a square. So we have our four right angles. We have two sides, two pairs of parallel sides. There's one, there's two. Those two are parallel. These two are parallel. And four right angles and four sides that are all equal in length. The square down here, same thing here. So these are some of our common quadrilaterals. On this next slide, we need to classify each figure as many ways as possible. Now, when it says classify, that's like sort them into specific categories. So in this case here, we have quadrilateral, trapezoid, parallelogram, rhombus, rectangle, and square. And so now we need to classify. So we're going to classify figure A here first. And we look at this and we try and think of our rules, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to classify it as a quadrilateral because it has four sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, and four angles, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be a quadrilateral. So on the line, I'm going to try and write quadrilateral. Quadrilateral. It is classified as a quadrilateral, once again, because it has those things. However, we can classify it as more than just a quadrilateral because it meets the definition of other things. So let's look here. And we can see right now, right from the start, it's not a rectangle because it doesn't have four right angles. We have two obtuse angles and two acute angles. It's not going to be a square for the same reason. It's not going to be a rhombus because it doesn't have two sets of parallel lines. It's not going to be a parallelogram because it doesn't have two sets or two pairs of parallel lines. In this case, it is going to be a trapezoid because it has one pair of parallel lines. So we're going to call it a trapezoid, and we're just going to write on the second line here, trapezoid. T-R-A-P-E-Z-O-I-D. Trapezoid. Okay, now we're going to look over here at figure B. Figure B here, as most of us know, is a square. If we look at the angles here and we put a box in each angle, we can see that they are right angles. They are square angles. So because they're square angles, we know that it has four right angles, and it has four sides that are equal in length, and it has two pairs of parallel sides. And because it has all of those, we know it's going to be a square. So I can write square here. Square. The other thing we know it is because it has four sides and four angles, it's going to be a quadrilateral. So we're going to write quadrilateral. It's quadrilateral. And then let's go back and think about our other definitions in which we have. So we have our square, we have our quadrilateral. Let's look at rectangle. A square, let's see, the definition of a rectangle is 4 right angles and 2 pairs of parallel lines. Well, we have 2 pairs of parallel lines and we have 4 right angles. And so that gives us a rectangle. So we can write rectangle on here. A rectangle. And then we can write, well, let's see. And then the definition of a rhombus has 2 sets of parallel lines, 2 sets of parallel lines, and so we can call this a rhombus also. Oh, and sides that are congruent, so sides that are the same length. Okay, all our sides are the same length and it has 2 sets of parallel sides, so we can call it a rhombus. So we can call it a rhombus also. And then our very last thing in which we can call it, let's see what we've used here already. Let's go through again. We have used our square, we have used our rectangle, our rhombus, our quadrilateral. So now we have a parallelogram or a trapezoid. Now, the definition of a parallelogram is that it has 2 parallel sides. So as we can see here, we have 2 sides, at least 2 sides here that are parallel. And so a parallelogram would work also. So it's right up here, parallelogram. And so I'm going to write that down here on this last line here. P-A-R-A-L-L-E-L-O-G-R-A-M. So we have our parallelogram. Now, the only thing that we're leaving out here is a trapezoid. And the reason it does not fit a trapezoid is because the definition of a trapezoid is having exactly 1 pair of parallel sides. And we actually have 2 pairs of parallel sides. So it does not fit the definition of a trapezoid. And so our square here is not a trapezoid. But it is a square, a quadrilateral, a rectangle, a rhombus, and a parallelogram. And that is how we classify quadrilaterals.